Alright, this was a quick video on how I replaced some damaged laminate boards at a customer's house. This was about a week ago. I just hadn't gotten around to kind of doing the voiceover on this particular project. The homeowner was there, so I was kind of videoing without talking. I didn't want to do a how-to with her in the next room. But anyway, a couple of people have asked about some how-tos, and I thought this was a good opportunity to do it. A couple of times the video I turned the phone sideways and it kind of warped it a little bit, but most of the time you can see what's going on. The video works right. But what I had to do you got to get one board out. So I tried to pick out the longest board that was coming out. I had some. She had some spare boards, which worked out good for me. But she had those spare boards, but you just figure out how thick that laminate is, set the depth of your skill saw a hair deeper than that, and I just ran it right down the middle of one of the boards. And when you do that, then you can take a flathead screwdriver or a pry bar or something and pop that first one out, first half, and then you just get all your boards out. And then when I was going back in with those boards, I had my table saw with me, and it really came in handy because I set the width just wide enough or enough so that it would cut the tongue off of the first board that I was going back in with, because you got to get it where no, I'm sorry, maybe that was the last board, but you'll see in the video, you got to cut that first one off so that you can get it to fit and lay down in there. I put a little wood glue underneath these boards as I went back in, but you got to cut that when you're putting the new piece of laminate in between a couple of the existing boards. You got to get that tongue cut off of there, and then on the board that was the existing board, you'll see when you're actually doing this, and in the video I'll kind of point at it, but there's a little ear that now I just kind of took my Stanley knife, I call it Stanley knife, a utility knife, a razor blade, whatever, to trim that ear off of there so that everything will sit back in. This turned out to be I was really kind of anxious about this job, but this turned out to be a gravy or easy job. And maybe I just got lucky, which I doubt it because I never do. It took me about an hour and a half. I pulled up at this lady's house at 8:30 in the morning. Yeah, maybe 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm sorry, 8:30. I pulled up at 8:30, got all my tools out, did the job, cleaned up, put all my tools back up. At 11 o'clock, I was gone. So an hour and a half, and I charged $150, so that's $50 an hour. And the material was all provided for me other than a little wood glue. So I hope this video is helpful. Hope it helps some folks out. If you see something I did wrong, I'll be happy to hear it. And I'll try to get a few more of these videos made of the how-to. So I'll put a little subscribe thing up the top left, top right. I can't remember which. So hit that, subscribe, give me some feedback, and let me know what you think. Thanks a lot. All right, this is the floor. You can see the water damage where just coming in from the door there. I'll poke on a little bit. It's just kind of crackling and just kind of messed up. So I had to replace about 5 or 6 of these boards. Now right in here, the camera's a little funny, but you can see where I ran my skill saw through that first board, just set the depth and run it from one end to the other. And now I've got the board popped out. You can see that's it there, first half of it. That's where I ran my skill saw. Now I'm just going to kind of knock this board out of here. Pull that right out. And I ended up using a rubber mallet on getting some of the boards out and getting some of the other boards in. But that rubber mallet really come in handy. You could really whack that wood and not damage the boards. And then now here you can see where I've got, I think, all but one of the boards out. I think I might have had to run, you can see on that last board up top, I had to run the skill saw through it because it was in between 2 boards. And now we're going to move out here to the table saw. Where I was talking about, I had to just knock that tongue off. Just had to set the width on that table saw and trim that right off of there. And then back inside, I'm starting to get all the boards back in. They just kind of go back in like a puzzle. Right here, what I was talking about earlier, pointing out where I had to trim that one little ear off. And got them all in, everything but the shoe mold. And on this next video, that's the end of it. It's all back in, everything laid in there good, shoe molds in. I think I'm ready for final inspection, Miss Covington.